This is Just the Job.
Hi there and welcome to Just the Job. It's great to be here again this week, and make sure you stick around because we have 3 more really exciting careers for you to take a look at, and you never know, one of them just might be what you're looking for. Plus we have a whole lot of helpful advice and tips to make that all-important career decision a whole lot easier. In today's show, 18-year-old Vicky is going to discover that there is plenty more than meets the eye to a career in surveying. Brian is off to Mount Allen Forest in Mosgiel, where he'll find out there's a whole technical aspect to forestry that goes on behind the scenes. And Riley has a serious interest in the panel beating industry, so we send him off to a collision repair company to see if it's just the job for him. But first up, let's catch up with Vicky as she gets an insight into the varied world of surveying.
My name is Vicky and I'm 18 years of age. I go to Northcote College and I'm here to find out today about surveying.
Modern surveying is a wide-ranging profession. It employs a huge variety of technology to gather, process and interpret information that is vital to today's and tomorrow's world.
I believe the traditional view of a surveyor was a man who stood on the side of a road with a theodolite, either picking up bits of survey detail or being in survey pegs. But more often these days surveyors are becoming involved in the Resource Management Act, in the construction industry, in the civil engineering industry, hydrographic surveying, which is measurement of the sea floor. Also the creation of titles, unit titles, legal ownership of land. So the surveyors can be involved in that part of the land development profession as well.
Hi, I'm Vicky.
Hi, I'm Mark.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Put this on, keep you nice and warm and seen. Actually, Vicky, while we're here, it's a good opportunity to point out a very significant part of survey history in Auckland, and that's Mount Eden. Okay, right there in 1841 was when the earliest surveyors made their first marks in Auckland. The surveyors created a triangle from Mount Eden to Cox's Bay to Hobson Bay, which enclosed the first parcel of land that was auctioned off to early settlers and became downtown Auckland, what was once then the capital of New Zealand. Also, Vicky, from here you can see Stonefields, a project our company's involved with. We'll head down there and have a look and see what the surveyors are doing.
Perhaps the most visible role of the surveyor is cadastral surveying. That's the process of determining and defining land boundaries.
So what is this equipment used for?
Vicky, this is the GPS base station that's used in conjunction with our roving GPS unit, and it provides 3-dimensional data to us in position and in height, and uses 12 satellites at any one time to give us that information.
And how accurate is this piece of equipment?
Well, the GPS we're using now gets to about 2 to 3 centimetres, which is pretty good.
The accuracy of GPS allows it to be used for a variety of tasks, such as calculating the volume of water that a pond can contain should a flood occur.
Well, what we're doing here, Vicky, is we're going to use the GPS to carry out a topographical survey of the stormwater pond. And what we do, we're using the GPS receiver. When we get to a point, we push F1 to record the point. That records the X, Y and Z, which is the 3 dimensions, and that all goes into our computer system back in the office, and we can calculate volumes. Well, as a young man, the sense of adventure, being outdoors, appealed, and surveying was a profession that you could get into, but have an outdoor component. And certainly as a young man, I enjoyed that part of the job. It was tremendous. Right, Vicky, if we just come over here, we've
gathering information is only the first part of the job. It then has to be translated and illustrated in a user-friendly form.
We'll just put that in there, and then we can download that data. Alright, Vicky, so what we've got here is the download of the pond that we surveyed earlier. What we can do in 12D is go to a 3D image. We can rotate the 3D image left and right and up and down, so we can get different perspectives of the shape of the pond as it's been built.
Mike Bates has recently qualified and is about to become a registered professional surveyor.
Mike, what do you enjoy most about surveying?
I prefer the inside-outside mix. There's a lot of variety in surveying, so one day I'm in the office, the next day I'm outside, and every day you're outside you get something different. You never know what to expect, really.
Surveyors work on some of our country's largest projects, such as the new motorway extension north of Auckland.
Well, Vicky, this is Bruce Robinson. Bruce is here to illustrate his device, the laser scanner. It's a device that enables us to measure distances that we can't reach normally. So way up underneath the viaduct there, we've got some issue with the stormwater drainage, and with Bruce's scanner we'll be able to accurately locate that drainage feature and bring that back to the office and do some upgrade design work.
The professional opinion of a surveyor is highly regarded. They may even be called upon as an expert witness in court.
So here in the older parts of Auckland, Vicky, surveyors get involved in a lot of issues with boundary definition. So a surveyor will be called in to carry out a determination of the exact location of that boundary. Also, if they're looking to redevelop their property, they need to know the exact size and location so they can comply with council standards. So in the city, we're involved in a lot with council decisions as well as legal decisions.
Well, first of all, I didn't know anything about surveying, so I learned lots of stuff. For example, there's lots of type of surveying out there. There's lots of job opportunities out there, not just for men but for girls too.
Oh, Vicky was great. She was enthusiastic. She asked all the right questions. She was switched on, thinking about what we were doing, so she was very good.
There are a number of qualifications available in surveying and many ways to enter this exciting career. You can join a surveying firm as a surveying assistant straight from school, then upskill and gain qualifications while working. On successful completion, you can progress to a national diploma or even gain a Bachelor of Surveying degree. New Zealand offers qualifications that are highly regarded internationally.
Well, this is definitely a career that's crying out for young people, so if you think you'd enjoy working indoors and outdoors, then this could be just the opportunity for you. Now after the break, we're going to catch up with Ryan as he discovers there's a lot more to forestry than just chopping down trees.
This is Just the Job.
Welcome back to Just the Job, where every week we take a look at 3 different careers to give you an insight into just some of the amazing opportunities that are out there for you. Now when you travel throughout New Zealand, forestry is everywhere. So in our next story, Ryan's going to find out how to manage those forests and what it takes to be successful in a career in forestry.
I'm Ryan Shaw, I'm 17 and this is the forestry industry.
We're taking Ryan to forestry owned by Wineta Forest Products. Wineta is based in Mosgiel and manage 30,000 hectares of woodlands located between Dunedin and Balclutha. The timber, mostly renewable radiata pine, is distributed to markets in New Zealand, Australia, Asia and the US.
How are you, Ryan?
G'day.
Welcome to Wineta.
Thank you.
I'm going to show you around one of the logging sites.
Awesome.
Logging Planning Superintendent Bruce McDowell is going to show Ryan that a job in the timber industry is a cut above the average.
This is a skid site and landing where actually trees are pulled to for processing.
At the centre of the skid site is a hauler which, as the name suggests, hauls logs to the processing area.
This hauler operation, you can see it's more or less a return rate system. It runs rather like a flying fox, so you can imagine one rate's going in, one's going out. So those 4 breaker outs up there are tying the trees on, and they're going to be pulled into this landing. And this Wairata is actually clearing the chute where the trees are landed and cutting them up in log lengths.
The Wairata has an onboard computer which controls the stripping and measuring of each log. They can be cut to any length required.
And as you can see, they're being sorted out into a nice easy circle area, and that operator and the loader there is then putting them in the individual heaps of the categories.
Hauler operations like this are used when the terrain is very steep. When the going's easier, logs are dragged out by huge tugs known as skidders.
So this is a ground-based operation. There's a tree falling down on the corner here. Right, Ryan, we're just going to grab this tree. We're just going to throw the chain over, link her up,
Yep.
tie her on. That's it. Pass her under. It's okay, it should be all right.
If I wanted to get into this industry, what kind of things would I have to be good at?
Well, it's having a good attitude, which is, is the big thing, and wanting to do the job and come out here. But, if you leave school, there's all sorts of jobs. You can start with on-the-job training, or you could go to Canterbury University and do a degree in forestry science or forest engineering.
The tertiary qualifications lead to specialist jobs, like here in the Mosgiel head office. This computer program accurately maps out the lie of the land and then works out the best place to position a hauler on a skid site. It's very clever software. For every possible hauler position, there's cross-sections of the terrain and the sort of effort needed to haul a log out.
Not all the job is about cutting down the trees. Certainly supervising the guys are doing that, but we've also got to put the infrastructure in, and that's a matter of building the roads so we can actually get to the next lot of trees that we're going to cut down. So it's a matter of surveying the roads, actually getting them put in, and actually supervising the crews that are putting the roads in. Forest engineering, basically.
Before you can harvest a tree, you have to grow it, and the management of any forest is the specialised job of a forester. Paul Greaves, one of Juanita's forestry planners, offers a lesson on where it all starts.
Yeah, Ryan, it was 1 out of 10. Your tree's not straight up and down, and you didn't close it off. You're letting moisture and everything into the ground.
Yep.
And it's, yeah, sorry mate, but you'll get it right after 20,000. I enjoy my job. I come to work every day. I don't miss it. I've been doing it for 36 years. I have school cert, and that's it. I've managed to work my way up to this position. I'm the estate planner, basically, for the silvicultural side of the estate.
So how'd I do?
Not too bad that time, Ryan. The road's nice and straight. Spacing's a wee bit close, but other than that, very good. I think you can do it.
The work of managing the forest is known as silviculture, and keeping the weeds down is one of the jobs.
So how many trees have you planted this year in this sort of area?
This year we've planted 1.1 million, so the gang will be working right through to Christmas and picking up every day they can when it's not windy to spray.
All the forestry work here is done by teams contracted to Juanita, among them Johnson Forestry Services.
Steve Johnson his crew won the Forestry Training Company of the Year at Firetech Awards in Rotorua this year, which was a great achievement for the gang, and it's also motivated them to sort of set goals for more awards in the future.
What we're trying to achieve in this is clear and knot-free timber.
Yep.
Okay, so knot-free timber is everything on the outside of what we've pruned. So this is the defect core.
Yep.
So everything on the outside of this will be knot-free. Okay, and that's what we're trying to produce.
Knot-free timber, known as clearwood, is where the money is. This is the attractively grained wood that's used for furniture and mouldings.
The forest management side of forestry is a lot more diverse than logging. You're dealing with the public, you're dealing with all our neighbours, 180 of them. You're dealing with all the access into the forest. The other side is the protection of the forest. We deal with fire and we control all the fire areas around us.
So then, how's Ryan done?
I've found Ryan very receptive, very keen to learn. I think that's a very important aspect nowadays. You've got to be motivated and to get into it, you know, and be part of what's going on, and don't be frightened to ask questions.
This experience has been really good for me and helped me to learn a lot about forestry that I didn't know. A lot of stuff that I learned has been how much is involved in actually forestry with planning, planting and pruning, and a lot of it happens back at the office. I had an awesome time. It was great.
There are many national certificates available from the Foundation Level 2 and upwards. The certificates from Level 3 to 5 introduce specialisations such as harvesting, felling, log making and loading, operations and business management. There is a Level 6 National Diploma in Forestry, which provides for the comprehensive skills and knowledge needed to manage a commercial plantation forest. The training is facilitated by Firetech and may be delivered on the job and or through polytechnics or private training enterprises. Canterbury University offers specialised forestry courses in either forestry engineering or forestry science.
Well done, Ryan, and if your company car is a chopper, then I'm in. They did a great job, and if you want to find out more about a career in forestry or any of the careers featured throughout our entire series, all you have to do is jump on our website, which I'll have more details for a little later on in the program. Now when we come back, we're going to catch up with Riley as he finds out how cars go from crumbled and damaged to as good as new when he checks out a career as an automotive collision repair technician.
This is Just the Job.
You're watching Just the Job, and if you're trying to figure out what career path to follow, then make sure you catch us each week, because this show very well could spark a turning point when it comes to your work life. Let's catch up with Riley now as he discovers the process and technology involved in repairing damaged vehicles.
I'm Riley Losley, I'm 16 and we're looking at collision repair.
Accidents happen, and it's the job of an automotive collision repair technician to fix up the damage. Riley is off to Perfect Auto Body Limited in Christchurch to meet owner and MD Wayne Houghton.
Hey Riley, welcome to Perfect Auto Body. Got a lot lined up for you the next couple of days. Come on through and let's have a look.
Wayne started in the repair business straight out of school and at the early age of 23 bought the business he was working for. He's been running the company ever since.
There's never really a dull moment in this industry. No two accidents are the same. You're always dealing with something new and exciting, and the technology that we're using today is far beyond what most people actually understand and think that we're actually using.
This is the panel shop. It's the overall workshop. This side here we have the panel shop bays. Each of the tradesmen have their own work area, and the tool boards are duplicated, so everyone knows that the tool boards have the same product on in the same area. So that's the general panel shop, and down this end where more of the structural work is done. And they're all responsible for keeping their own areas nice and tidy, and that's a really important part of the industry, is keeping your work bays tidy. It reflects on how they work on the jobs, and it reflects on the end product when the car comes out the other side for the customer.
Before any car can be fixed, a thorough assessment of the damage is done.
The insurance company would have the car picked up by a tow truck, towed into their salvage yard, at which time we'd get the call to come and have a look at the car and determine whether it's going to be repairable.
Photos are taken to record the damage and help the research for the specialised parts.
This is a modern car, and they're using modern technology and different types of steels and materials. So it's really important that we also know the repair method for the job.
Production manager Martin Lane shows Riley a job that's just come in.
What we've got here is quite a major smash. There's extensive damage, it's been down the bank. Got some underbody damage as well. We look up here on the plastic work, we can see that we've got some broken plastic. The exhaust, we can see that it's buckled and out of shape.
Attention to the smallest detail is a big part of the job.
So this is looking like it's going to be quite an expensive job.
It is, there's a substantial amount of damage. It could be more than $5,000 worth of damage. We're not really going to know until we price all those parts out.
The career path for a young person coming into this industry now is probably far greater than it ever used to be. Of course, you go from an apprenticeship, getting through your apprenticeship training to become a tradesman, and from there you can branch into specialisation in specific vehicles. You may decide that you like restoration style work, or you may particularly like the collision repair side.
This Nissan has just been checked in with damage to the front bumper, and Riley is going to follow through the process to fix it up.
We can see the obvious damages here on this corner, but the client has also said to us that there's some damage on the other side. So we need to look at the whole bar.
Apprentice Daniel Bunns has been given the job to put right the polypropylene bumper.
Throw it up on the trestle.
Modern motor cars are built way differently from what they were 10 years ago, or even 5 years ago. For a young person to start learning that, it's quite onerous. There's a big learning curve for them. 10, 15, 20 years ago, we were generally dealing with materials that were just the same thing day in and day out. But now you have model-specific repair techniques, you have manufacturer-specific repair techniques, so there's a lot to learn in terms of the technology that we're dealing with.
The tier's being fixed by welding plastic to the split, and there's a deformed area which needs to be straightened with a heat gun.
Pretty much, or you just, with your gloves on of course, straighten her up.
The bumper is sanded to soften, or what's called feather, the edges of the existing paint. Then it's off to the paint shop to finish it off. For apprentice Daniel, it's another job nearly done, and a job that he really enjoys.
What sort of support and help have you had along the way?
The support of your workmates and managers obviously is a big one, as well as the Mito guys that come around and sort out your apprenticeship. That's good.
Today's a pretty special day. Daniel's just completed 3 years of training.
Congratulations on the first step of your career as an automotive collision repair technician.
Thanks a lot.
Training is ongoing. There's always new technology to learn.
Well, Riley, what we're going to do here is we're going to measure a car that's sustained a substantial amount of damage in the front. We use a Carolina system, which is a chassis straightening system and a measuring system all in one.
The software is programmed to know the precise dimensions of the car. If the chassis has been twisted, the software logs the damage.
We've found that it's got a bent chassis, so we're now going to bring the pulling arm up to the machine, set it up and give it a pull to correct the damage that's been sustained.
The pulling arm stretches the chassis back into alignment and measurements are taken once again.
We can now produce a printed form that shows of what we've done in the area that we've repaired.
While technology is important, traditional skills like panel beating remain part of the job.
This is the action that we're using. Okay, this here. So bring your dolly underneath your panel. And when you're hitting the dolly, you'll hear the sound of the dolly underneath. That's it. See that sound? That means you're hitting it directly on the dolly.
I think if you're really keen on cars, a person that becomes a trainee in an industry like this, if they have a passion for that, they get to touch them all day and every day. And with the technology that we're dealing with now, it's not boring anymore. The exponential increase of technology in this industry is phenomenal.
It's looking good, Riley. So how have you shaped up?
Riley's done really well. He's really keen, he's really motivated, he's really interested in the technology that we have here in Perfect Auto Body, and you know, he gets to see what the other guys are doing and to what level he can actually aspire to. So no, I think he'll make it. I think he's got the right attitude.
It's been a great experience here. I've got a great team, and I can definitely see myself working with collision repair sometime in the future.
To become a collision repair technician, you need to complete an apprenticeship and gain a Level 4 national certificate in panel beating. Apprenticeships are part of the modern apprenticeship scheme, where you learn both on the job and at your own pace. An average apprenticeship takes 3 years to complete. For those at school, the training program Startup provides a pathway to the industry. Useful subjects are maths, English and workshop technology.
Well done, Riley. You certainly have what it takes if you do decide to get into the business of collision repairs. So thanks, Riley, and everyone else who featured in today's program. Now, these days there are thousands of careers to choose from, but that doesn't make the decision any easier. So we certainly hope our programs will help you when it comes to making this all-important career decision. Sarah from Career Services is here now, and she's here to explain how to help someone make good choices when it comes to their future work or training.
Sometimes it's really difficult to help a young person make good decisions about work or training. Things change so much and there are so many options these days, it's hard to know which direction to point them in. If you're in this position, check out the new Parents and whānau section on careers.govt.nz. There's information on everything from NCEA and subject selection to future work trends and tips from other parents. It's a great source of practical information to help your child succeed.
Well, that's it for this week. We hope you enjoyed the show. We'll be back again next week with 3 more careers for you to check out, plus a whole lot of helpful advice to help you succeed in getting the career you want. Now, if you want more information about the careers featured today or just how to make that right career choice, just jump on our program website, tvnz.co.nz, and enter the keywords Just the Job. Good luck, and I'll catch you again next week.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.